Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Tackling Brain Health. If you're tuned in today, you are probably a parent seeking options for your child, and I am delighted to be able to introduce you to Lindsey and to play therapy, and this might be your first foray into play therapy. It's certainly not mine, and gosh, this is Lindsey's absolute expertise, and I'm thrilled to be able to introduce you to her.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm delighted that you are here. I think it would be great to know how you got into doing this specific kind of work. There just aren't that many play therapists in the world. It's such an important modality and such an important way of working. What was attractive to you and how did you get into the field?
Gosh, I always knew I wanted to work with kids.
Yeah.
Like, even just growing up, I was the kind of kid who was like creative and just making things out of paper and cardboard and tape and glue. And I'd put on little dance performances for my family. And
Yeah.
When I was thinking about like graduate education, I knew that I wanted to be a therapist.
Yeah.
And then I got into social work, and when I graduated from grad school, I was like, I really want to work with kids. And I heard about a play therapy workshop in the area near my office, actually in San Bernardino.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, what's that? And I joined the Association for Play Therapy back in 2005.
Okay.
And I was like, these are my people.
Yeah.
Like this is my community, and this work with children and teens and adults is just so important.
Yeah.
And it's just something that really, I think, ignited this passion for me, that it's just continued through my career.
Yeah. I became familiar with play therapy early. So I worked in a locked psychiatric setting for the first 5 years, and we used play therapy routinely and then also forensically. And so it was a fascinating modality that, gosh, I've been super taken with. What do you recommend if it's a parent seeking help for their child? What would you say is the ideal age for play therapy, and what are the kinds of cases that you work with most often, or what's sort of your niche?
Sure. Play therapy really can be a resource for all ages. So the research might say, for example, like ages 3 to 7 or 3 to 10, but we know through working with families that like children need support with life skills, nervous system regulation skills. Even infants and toddlers can be supported through play. And it looks different depending on a child's developmental age.
Yeah.
I really enjoy working with the littles. So in my practice, I specialize in play therapy for children 0 to 5.
Wow.
And I have special training for that. I'm trained in infant massage. I love working with little kids who have big behaviors.
Sure.
And parents need help understanding what's underneath the behavior and how do they connect with their child, and also helping that child learn how to connect with themselves and really build their self-esteem and their sense of confidence.
Yeah.
And then I also kind of specialize in working with kids with neurodiversity needs.
Yep.
So I have a neuroaffirming practice. I support people who are autistic, people with ADHD, 2E, whose brains just have a unique way of experiencing the world.
Yeah.
That I feel like there's not as many safe spaces in the community for people to come and let their burdens down, and also just be able to share and express what's on their mind or heal from trauma.
Sure.
So
That's amazing. How do parents know about you? How do they find out about you?
a couple ways to find me. So I do have a website.
Yeah.
It's Joy Dance Play Therapy. That's my practice name.
Oh, I love that.
I'm here located in Newport, Costa Mesa area. I also do workshops sometimes for parents in the community as well as providers.
Okay.
On how to use play therapy skills with patients. I also do trainings for providers on burnout prevention.
Okay.
So
Wow,
those are-
that's super important.
Yeah.
I would love to know about that.
So that's something else I'm really passionate about. Having had my own experiences as a provider over the years of going through burnout, it's something that I think everyone experiences at some point in their career. And especially when you're working with families that are going through difficult times, your nervous system is going to mirror what they're experiencing. And so if you're working with families all day that have had a lot of stressful, traumatic events, or just struggling, your nervous system is going to feel that as well.
Yeah.
And if you don't have some way to take care of yourself, to move those emotions and those experiences through your body, to care for yourself throughout the day and then outside of work, then you start to build up vicarious trauma.
Yeah.
And that can manifest with stress symptoms, not sleeping well, health issues, not feeling as motivated or enjoying your work as much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so in these workshops, I really want to help empower providers to like have some tools to identify signs of vicarious trauma and then regulate throughout their workday, but also kind of learn to differentiate some boundaries between themselves and the families they might be supporting. I'm trained in synergetic play therapy model. It's one that I love dearly, and they really talk about 1 foot in, 1 foot out of someone's experience, which is like where we're connecting with someone, but we're not jumping in fully into their experience and making it completely our own. That everyone has their own experience of their emotions, their thoughts, and that when we can see the boundary between them, we can help support someone, but we also can attune to our needs in the moment when we're interacting with someone.
That's just so fascinating.
So.
For someone who has, for a parent who has a new diagnosis of autism or a child on the spectrum, how do you engage with them initially?
You know, it depends on each family's needs. So I've had some families reach out for care where the child does not know that they have a mental health need or diagnosis. And so part of it is honoring and respecting the family's wishes about how and when to share that information and to prepare the child to learn something new about themselves. If the family's already received that information and the child is aware, it's helping them answer questions, do some different work, whether it's through like sand tray therapy or art therapy or journaling, or it could be whatever ways they want to sort of express their identity, to understand like, what does this mean about who I am? That somebody may be giving me an outside label or diagnosis, but it doesn't change who I've sort of known to be all along, but I'm just understanding it in a different way.
Got it.
And also, I would say like empowering them too, because depending on the label, there can be a lot of stigma in mental health and in our communities about the way someone thinks or experiences the world and their behaviors. Like, for example, if someone is stimming and that is an experience that is really comfortable and feels good in their body, other people may not understand that, why someone might be doing that.
Sure.
And so it's, I think, helping somebody feel empowered to be able to really express themselves in a way that feels true to who they are.
And do you only work individually with the child, or do you sometimes work with other family members or siblings?
Great question. So I do family therapy as well. It really, again, everything is tailored to the family's needs, and particularly the child or teen's needs. And so we often might start off with some individual sessions and then fold in different family members as it's relating to the child's treatment goals and the relationships that they need support with. I also do therapy with siblings. Sometimes I'll see more than one child in the same family, depending on what the needs are and if everyone's in agreement. The child's comfortable sharing their therapist with a sibling. But sibling relationships are really important. And that can be a big source of conflict for children, but also for parents. So, and then I also do parent coaching too. So most of my families, I recommend parent coaching every couple of weeks, where separate from the therapy session, we'll meet, we'll go over the child's strengths and needs, we'll talk about different parenting interventions that support nervous system regulation and that link back to like their specific treatment goals. And I find that's more helpful because then the parents have like a safe space where they can talk openly about like what's happening, what's working, what's not, what can we try. They get support from me. And then they also have some privacy from the child. So we're not talking in front of the child or teen about concerns the parent might have that might be distressing, or the child might feel shamed or judged. But the parents can really just talk openly about their experience as a parent. And then come back into the playroom if they're doing parent-child sessions, or what we might call dyadic therapy, where they can practice those skills with me kind of as their coach.
Awesome. Awesome. I know you talked about your preferred population or your ideal population, 0 to 5. Where do you sort of max out? like age-wise?
Oh, great question. I would say I'm comfortable working all the way up to young adulthood. I do have some adult clients, but right now I'm primarily focused on probably the, excuse me, the littles, and then school age and some teens.
Yep.
So probably around like young adulthood, I would say. And then depending on the youth, if they're wanting more of an adult therapist or kind of a transitional age provider, then I can link them to someone. But it's really depending on the person's needs.
Yeah.
So, when you find someone you trust, you kind of want to stay with them.
Totally get it. So you might have somebody that checks in at 0 to 5 and you see them until they transition as a young adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that therapist answer. It depends.
Yeah, for sure.
It does. So
For sure.
Some families I've worked with where we'll work more intensely for a period of time on a specific goal, and then we go down to like maintenance mode, or we meet once a month and we work on a skill. And then we do that for a period of time until they want to come in and get more support.
And what might be an example of a goal for a parent who's seeking, like what might be a therapeutic goal that you'd be focused or working on?
Sure. One of the common ones I hear is tantrums.
Okay.
Saying no, not listening, having a hard time with transitions. So it might be helping understand like what are the triggers to that behavior. So like when are the tantrums happening, and not just reducing like the frequency. Most people want those behaviors to stop or go away, but they're serving a purpose. And so it's helping thinking about if these behaviors are happening in a certain environment, like there's a transfer between one parent's home to the other in like a shared custody situation. How do we set in some goodbye rituals to help with separation anxiety, for example, or something like that? So again, it really goes back to what that specific person needs. But usually it's helping shift or modify a behavior, but then we're increasing the use of different coping skills.
Yeah.
Which really link back to regulating the nervous system and the brain.
Yeah. Yeah, so talk about that for a bit. Just talk about nervous system regulation and how this helps, and sort of how use of this modality helps with nervous system regulation. And then I'd love to get into, like, I noticed you brought all the fun things, and I want people to be able to know and understand how that works.
Sure. I think where I'm going to approach this is one of the models that I really appreciate is Robin Goebel. She is a well-known therapist who does parent education, teaching and training for providers. And she's created these metaphors to explain polyvagal theory, which is kind of a theory of the stress responses in the body, to make it really simplified.
Yeah, that is really simplified, but great.
Yeah, and so she uses these metaphors of the owl, the watchdog, and the possum, which I love, and I use those with my families. So we think about the owl is kind of the regulated chill part of our brain, the ventral vagal state, which is like where we're calm or just focused, relaxed, able to learn, able to engage with people. And then we have the watchdog, which is where we're revving up into fight or flight. And we're getting more stressed, anxious, louder, bigger behaviors. Energy's going up, cortisol's going up. We can freeze in that state still too. But the watchdog is kind of like nervous system revving up, and then the possum is the nervous system shutting down and collapsing. Possum's dead, right?
Sure.
And so those metaphors are helpful because then we can, in a play session, be like, oh, are you an owl, a watchdog, or a possum right now?
That's really cool.
Or I might just like reflect back, like, I'm noticing like you're moving slow like a possum, or or your body's moving really slowly and you're looking sleepy, and we might offer an activity to help them ground and reconnect to themselves, so we help the nervous system start to upregulate. That's what someone might say. So
How cool.
Yeah.
This is perfectly synchronous with the work that we do. We just don't see people 0 to 5. We generally see them beginning like in 2nd grade. And we get a lot of people in 2nd grade because, of course, that's the age that they begin to be selected for special education tracks. And so we get kids beginning in that place around 7. So, I mean, if you're working on nervous system regulation, or And you're also working with trauma. What might be an example of pediatric traumas that kids experience?
Oh, sure.
For parents who are out there looking, I mean,
Sure.
they're
Yeah,
sort of
there's
wondering, like,
a number of
how does this work? Right.
number of experiences that children can have. It can be anything from the loss of a loved one, a family member, it could be a car accident, it could be any type of abuse, whether it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse. It could be exposure to things on the news that are scary or stressful that are happening in our country or a different part of the world that the child hears about, even if they don't have a direct connection. But exposure to something distressing can create a lot of stress or anxiety for kids. Basic needs not being met, so if a family's struggling financially or not having enough food, or medical trauma is another big one too. So kids either at birth who had a difficult birthing process or in the NICU down the road can still struggle with anxiety or other kinds of behaviors or regulating their nervous system that the parents might not link back to like that early experience of when the child came into the world. And so there's so much we can do to help repattern the nervous system, even back to those earlier developmental stages through play, which is so powerful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you brought a ton of cool stuff.
Yes, so I would love to introduce the drums to you.
Awesome. I'd love that.
One of the things that I love is dance and movement. I use a lot of dance and drumming in my work with families. And I'm a Health Rhythms trained facilitator, which is a program through the Remo Drum Company. And as you know, bilateral movement is really good for the brain and body. So I'm going to invite you to pick out an instrument or two.
Okay.
And then we're just going to play around a little bit with some sounds and movement together.
Awesome.
So I'm going to invite you, I'm going to start us off with just a rhythm to explore your instruments, however you wish.
Okay.
So I'll just lead us in a little bit of drumming, and then I'm going to pause, we'll check in, we'll do a body scan, and then I'll shift us to another activity with the instruments. Are you ready?
Yeah. Cool.
Wonderful.
I know, I love that.
So usually what I'll do with people is just invite us to pause and take a breath.
Yep.
And just check in with our body and notice what we're noticing.
Yeah, I love drumming. I mean, I've done it before, and this was cool and fun.
I'm noticing that like my heart felt a little bouncy. Like I kind of wanted to move and have like a kind of a quicker beat.
Yeah, it felt like I just felt excited, like in a positive, joyful way.
All right. So we're going to shift to another way we can use instruments, which is a fun one, and that is to play how you're feeling on your instrument. So that's something I do with people. So I'm going to invite you to use your instrument to play what it feels like when you're feeling good, what that might sound like.
Yep.
So now I'm going to play it back to you, to the best of my ability,
Okay.
what I heard. And I invite you to just receive that.
Sure. Yeah.
How was that?
Fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, drums are super exciting to me. I discovered them post-graduate school, I guess I want to say. The drum circle was probably a post-grad school thing for me. And they're really cool.
There's a power when we reflect back to each other what we hear.
For sure.
So now I'm going to choose one of my instruments.
Okay.
I kind of like this one. This is the thunder tune.
Okay.
This one has a very different sound. So I'm going to use this to share a time where I felt excited or I felt good.
Okay.
It's kind of loud. this morning.
Oh, okay. Thanks. That's awesome.
So
Really
that's
cool.
a thunder tube.
Yeah, it sounds like thunder. I like it.
Yeah. So I'm going to invite you to reflect back using your instruments what that sounded like to you.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I could feel it, like the energy building, and then like a,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing all this stuff.
Yeah.
I would love it if you could just sort of talk us through some of the play therapy.
So we'll shift from the drums.
Yeah.
Also brought some sand tray miniatures. So I use sand tray in play therapy fairly often. And it can be really helpful in play therapy as a way for kids to express what's happening on the inside through the toys, to communicate how they're feeling about their life, or if something is stressful, or just reworking a problem, or also just kind of tapping into their inner strengths. It works through the use of metaphor. Carl Jung is a famous psychologist, and several others have influenced sand tray over the years. But I brought a couple miniatures, and I was thinking it might be fun for us to just make like a mini sand tray.
Okay.
We don't have sand today, just in the interest of ease.
Sure.
But you can still make a sand tray without sand. You just need sort of a container. And so I have some paper plates, because you need a sense of boundaries, what you're putting the items in. And what I'm going to invite us to do is to create a world in the sand that is a safe place or relaxing place.
Okay.
I'm going to invite you to create your world.
All right.
The safe place, relaxing place.
Sure.
You can choose any of these items you would like.
Okay. I think I'm good.
You feel like it's complete?
I do.
Okay. So I'm going to invite you to just take a minute and just notice your world that you created. As you think about this place, I'm going to invite you to think of one word to describe it, so that when you need to access this safe place or this calm place, you can just say that word, and it'll help you remember what you created today.
I'm going to say serenity is the word.
Serenity. Okay. Mine, I think, is going to be peace.
Okay.
And so for some extra oomph, what we're going to do is tap that word into our body. So you can either hold on to your tray, or you can put it on the table. I'm going to invite you to do some butterfly taps.
Okay.
You put one hand on one shoulder, one on the other. Slower the better. And then if we just tap slowly back and forth, and then we can say our word to ourselves. Imagine tapping in serenity or tapping in peace. May you find that serenity throughout your day.
Thank you so much.
Take it with you.
Thank you so much, and thanks so much for coming on. I am just so grateful to learn about passionate practitioners who sort of augment what we do in the community, and you're just such an ideal complement for parents to know about.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm just so passionate about the power of play.
Yes, and I know that about you.
We all need to play.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. If you like what you've heard, please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Tackling Brain Health.